The coup d'etat in Benin has failed. And in fact, this is the most dull coup d'etat ever carried out in the history of coup d'etat. These soldiers who carry out this coup d'etat need to take lessons of what it takes to carry out a coup d'etat. So to them, what it takes to carry out a coup d'etat is just to go on TV and announce that, national TV announced that the president parties had been overthrown. That was what they simply did. They simply went on air, national TV, and they declared that President Patrice is no longer president. And this comes to explain why Goodluck Ebele Jonathan had explained that what happened in Guinea-Bissau is not a coup d'etat. Because this is it. How do you organize a coup d'etat? Whereas you have not arrested the president, you announce a coup d'etat. There are two elements of coup d'etat which makes it a coup d'etat, a successful coup d'etat. Before you announce those elements of coup d'etat, there are two elements before you announce coup d'etat. Number one, the commander-in-chief must be in your custody. Number two, he must not have access to any broadcast communication. Number three, you must prove that he's in your custody before you go and announce to the national broadcaster. But this was not what happened in Benin. What happened in Benin was that this group of soldiers, together with some few soldiers, marked strategic position and announced on state TV that the president has been deposed and that they are now in charge of Benin. And that was how they laughed. The president laughed because the president was at the presidential palace and the president still had his general with him. The general was still loyal to him. And the president had to make calls, had to talk to diplomatic communities. How do you claim that you have organized a coup d'etat? Then the president, who is the person you have removed from a coup d'etat, is not in your keeping, and you go ahead and announce a coup d'etat. When I saw that this coup d'etat occurred, the first question was, I said, where is the president? Then after I learned that the president is not in their custody. Then after I learned that the president was communicating with the outside world. Then after I learned that the ministers, top ministers are communicating with the outside world. Now, this is how coup d'etat are done in every country that we have heard about coup d'etat and how we have read in books how coup d'etat have been conducted. You keep the president is in your custody. The person you claim you have overthrown must be in your custody. The second thing is, top of his ministers, like the Minister of Interior in Benin, was supposed to be in your custody. All the security detail of those top officials were supposed to be directly loyal to your military command that has carried out the coup d'etat. Once the president is in your custody, you cease all communication of the president in your custody. Then you announce a coup d'etat. That was not what happened in Benin. So when it happened in Benin, I looked at it and laughed because it's the same way Goodluck Ebele Jonathan explained, the same way I'm explaining to you. Ebele Jonathan explained that you cannot claim that you have successfully carried out a coup d'etat in Guinea-Bissau, whereas the president was the one who announced that there is a coup d'etat. The president was with his phone. The president was talking to press. The president has access to his social communication gadget, and yet he says a coup d'etat. So the Benin military that carried out the coup d'etat actually is the dullest coup d'etat ever carried out. And that was why it was easy to arrest these people, because the president Patrice was not in their custody. A successful coup d'etat has those elements I've mentioned. But there is something that happened when I observed. When this coup d'etat was announced, in the process, I saw a lot of Cameroonians and Africans, Nigerians, I saw Nigerians, Cameroonians, Kenyans celebrating. And it kept me thinking, why would people celebrate coup d'etat? What will make people celebrate coup d'etat? That coup d'etat is still in process in Benin. People elsewhere are celebrating and are saying their own thing, that when you reach their own turn, their own people cannot do what. Coup d'etat is not a good form of government. Coup d'etat is not a good form of government. You must allow democratically elected presidents to rule, okay? So this coup d'etat in Benin is the most dull coup d'etat. If they were not ready to have arrested the president, then they shouldn't have talked about coup d'etat. Because the president of Benin, as any other president, moved with his état-major, with the people surrounding him. So if you put the president into custody in Benin, then you had actually seized his communication gadget, then your coup d'etat would have been successful. It's not like you come and announce. It's not to announce on broadcast media. You cannot go to national broadcast and announce that the president has been deposed, whereas the president is not in arrest. This was what happened in Mali, in Burkina Faso. Traoré got Kabore under custody. Kabore was under custody, and another faction of the military went out to the national broadcaster and announced that Kabore has been deployed, has been deposed. Assimi Goïta did the same. Assimi Goïta team had Keita, or the president was under their custody. Then another team now moved to the national broadcaster and said the president has been deposed. The same thing with Abdurrahman Tiani. Tiani team had Bazoum locked. Bazoum and his État Major, they were locked up before Bazoum, Abdurrahman Tiani team moved to Niger State media and announced a coup d'etat. You don't just get up and announce coup d'etat when you have not successfully keep the president under your custody. So this is the dullest coup d'etat. And those military officers that carry out the coup d'etat will see like this. They will see like this. No clemency to that level. Except a different government that actually was indirectly behind this coup d'etat will come and free them. It is treason. And you know what treason is. If there is still death penalty in that country. So if they are not ready, if you are not ready, never you try this nonsense.
Chaos unfolded in West Africa as a coup attempt sent shockwaves in Benin. Early in the day, military personnel appeared on the country's state television and announced the removal of President Patrice Talon.
The Military Committee for Refoundation, CMR, which met on Sunday 7th of December 2025 in Cotonou, deliberated and decided the following. Mr. Patrice Talon is removed from office as President of the Republic.
A small faction of Benin's army attempted this coup. During their statement on national TV, the group also announced the suspension of Benin's political parties. The soldiers said they belonged to a faction called the Military Committee for Refoundation. Hours after the coup announcement, Benin's interior minister appeared on state television. He announced that the coup attempt had been foiled.
In the early hours of this Sunday, 7th of December 2025, a small group of soldiers launched a mutiny with the aim of destabilizing the country and its institutions. In response to this situation, the Beninese armed forces and their leadership, loyal to their oath, remained committed to Republican values. Their response ensured control of the situation and foiled the attempt.
Benin's government has reportedly arrested 13 people who were allegedly involved in the coup attempt. All the detainees except one are soldiers on active duty. But even as the events unfolded in the high offices of government, the streets of Cotonou remained relatively calm, with the usual movement of traffic and people going about their daily lives as usual. Benin is located in West Africa between Nigeria and Togo. The region is gripped by political uncertainty. There have been a total of 10 coups in just the last 5 years. Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea and Guinea-Bissau have all seen coups recently. The attempted coup drew widespread condemnation. The Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, condemned the coup attempt and reaffirmed support for the government. The African Union echoed the same sentiment. It condemned the coup attempt and urged the soldiers to return to their barracks. As things stand, President Patrice Talon's government